3 days ago, I celebrated the 3rd anniversary of my layoff. My marketing position was unceremoniously eliminated. I can recall the walk to the elevator with the HR manager. I don't know how many people she delivered the bad news to before me, but she seemed relieved that I was taking it so well. I wonder how many people said thank you to her as I did when they were being escorted from the building. Are you glad that it's over? She asked. Not for the reason you think. I remember smiling and thinking, I don't have to come back here ever. After 3 years of listening to my brain cells deflate, I could have sworn I heard them begin to expand again. I was free. I didn't open my severance letter for 3 days. I needed some time to think. Being laid off 4 times in 10 years has taught me that a short rest period is needed to refocus. A couple of weeks passed, and I was back to my post-layoff habit, volunteering. Volunteering has been an important part of my work-life balance since I was in college, and I volunteered at Girls and Boys, Inc., an after-school program for low-income families. After my first layoff, the week of 9/11, I began volunteering at Attitudes in Attire, an organization that promotes self-sufficiency for women in transition. I continued to volunteer there for 8 years on and off between layoffs and randomly selected vacation days because I needed it to maintain my life balance and sanity. Little did I know this layoff would be different. While I looked for my next marketing position, I spent so much time volunteering, it could have actually been a part-time job. I worked at an arts organization, a food pantry, and believe it or not, I was actually coaching and encouraging others who had been laid off from their jobs. I loved seeing the difference that I was making in people's lives. I was having a field day. It wasn't until 9 months later, still no job, no possibilities, and dwindling unemployment benefits, did I realize that the activities that I was enjoying most were not marketing related. I can see that I had to pass through marketing en route to my true field. I can remember the day I arrived. I'd been at Attitudes in Attire for a 2-hour shift helping clients pick suits for their first interview. As I was leaving, I saw a young Hispanic lady in her early 20s in the boutique clutching her new suit and handbag. She wasn't smiling or talking to anyone. I walked across the room to her. That's a nice suit. Show me how you walk when you're wearing that suit. She looked unsure of how to respond to my request. I repeated it. She stood and walked across the boutique, shuffling her feet. I would hope you wouldn't walk like that in that nice suit. That was kind of awkward. So tell me, what you rocking today? She looked at me curiously. What? Tell me what you're rocking today. Another curious look. Tell me one thing that you like about yourself. I don't know. I have low self-esteem. I was shocked. I don't know that I'd heard anyone say it so matter-of-factly before. I don't know. My shoes? Well, I need you to walk like those shoes are made of diamonds. And tomorrow when you get up, I need you to find something different that you like about yourself. Every day you need to look in the mirror and find something to like about yourself. You don't have to publicize it to everyone, it's just for you. I looked at myself before I left this morning, I said, girl, you are rocking that lip gloss. You understand? Yeah. I put my arm around her shoulders and walked her to a private area. Do you know that when you tell someone you have low self-esteem, that you give them permission to walk all over you? I want you to go home tonight and I want you to write a list of everything that you are. You are smart, beautiful, kind. And when you finish that list, I want you to make a decision that you will not accept being called anything that is not on that list. She started to cry. After the tears dried, she hugged me. I couldn't shake that experience. I felt a combination of anger, frustration, compassion, and accomplishment. Before, I heard a brokenness in her voice. After I spoke to her, I saw her light go on. She handed me a thank you note before she left the building. Miss Coretta, may God bless you. It has been my pleasure to have met a beautiful, encouraging woman like you. I can hope that one day I could be just like you. Thank you for just taking the time to talk to me. Jacqueline. I went to the program director and recapped what happened. Coretta, that's why we've been trying to get you to do a workshop. She'd been trying for 8 years. Each time she'd approach me, I'd explain to her that I don't do public speaking of any sort. But in that moment, I thought about Jacqueline, put me on the calendar. I did my first workshop presentation called The Definition of You, an exploration of self-definition and self-esteem. That same week, the program director referred me to a middle school counselor to be a featured speaker at the next Girl Talk seminar. The more I thought about the girls at the school and the women at Attitudes and Attire, the more it became clear to me my purpose and greatest joy came when I could spend time encouraging them and offering them some new insight to help them heal in some way. 2 years later, I know without a doubt I am now in my field. With the support of friends, an amazing family, and a number of strangers, I have redefined and discovered some wonderful things about myself along this journey. Not only am I a marketer, I am a coach, I am a mentor, I am a trainer, a public speaker, and a writer. I still don't have a marketing job. I don't need one. I'm a new business owner with a mission to empower children to discover their authentic voice. Whether I'm talking to the girls at a detention center or the runaway shelter, I challenge them to think differently about themselves. I hear the confidence in their voices when they describe themselves with new positive words. I see the differences in their smile when it clicks. I help them do that. I empower women and girls, and I wouldn't have guessed that when I stepped off that elevator that last time, that I would have stepped into this place in my life that is worthy of celebrating.